Hello, everybody. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is your boy, the redacted ex-sizzle guy, whatever you want to call me. I'm that guy. So I wanted to jump in here and kind of talk about some few things. I've got the PlayStation VR headset here, and then I've got an Oculus Rift. So over the past, I'd say the past month or so, I've been kind of putting these both through a test, and rather than put together a compilation video or to try to edit some stuff together of the before and after stuff, the PC versus PSVR, you can't really get that sense of what something looks like just by a screen capture when you're in VR, because you have to have that one-on-one kind of experience, because everyone's eyes are different, their distance is different, their experience is different. Some people get sick, some people don't. Hey, Cypher, nice to see you, and JMK Gaming, always great to see you here too. But yeah, I'm wanting to debate, kind of get together with you guys and kind of debate on which one of these two headsets are better. And I mean, I'm not going graphics wise. I mean, speaking of comfort and stuff, let me throw one of these on. The Oculus kind of gets on my nerves because it's got this little strap that you put over top here. Let me just pull this down. And sometimes whenever you have an Oculus on, you're basically stuck in that. You can't get the face off. I mean, you have to basically take the headset off, or it slides down this way, and sure, it's kind of like a first generation device, but it does get kind of the faceplate here it gets sweaty and nasty and goopy sometimes, and then this is only about a month worth of play. I mean, and then on the bottom, whenever you even barely tap this feature, it pops up on your screen and kind of gets on your nerves. But there's problems with this one too. I mean, at times you could be wearing this one, and it can leave like an imprint on your forehead, which isn't bad. But just having this feature here to move it in. Let's see if you can see that. Okay, where you can move it in and out with this button. This is the OG one, of course. It's not the new one. But yeah, this feels a lot more comfortable. And on your head, the cushioning up here, being on your forehead rather than like actually glued to your face, is so much more comfortable than the Oculus. And I mean, I'll be honest with you, it makes a difference, because this right here generally doesn't get as sweaty and sticky and nasty, and usually you can just brush it off, and it's so padded. I mean, it's so comfortable right here and right here. If you can see this, there's some great padding on the actual PlayStation VR, which I gotta say I'm ecstatic about. There is a microphone right here in the headset as well, just kind of like the Oculus. I didn't know the Oculus had a microphone in it, but the Oculus has a microphone in it somewhere. I'm not for sure where that actually is located. So this is just from a gamer's perspective. This is from my experience with these devices. I'm not going to get into technical specs, like which one has better resolution, how many pixels, the frame rates per second. But I'm going to be honest with you, between these two headsets, I've spent less on this one than I have on the Oculus, and I have a better experience with the PlayStation VR. People talk about the screen door effect, things like that. You get it really bad in this one. Like, I'll be honest with you, with the Oculus Rift, there are times that I'm stuck looking like I'm actually looking through a screen door. Like, you could see the kind of pixels. You could see them all like in a box. It's like sitting really close up to the picture, like a picture tube TV in 480p, and counting the dots on it. You could see that, but I don't get that as much on the PlayStation VR. I really, let's see, I had the speed on the video down and nearly realized, but hey, yeah, but the PSVR to me just feels so much better. When I was playing, I didn't want to do this video until last night when I actually checked out Skyrim's new 1.0 0.04 update for PSVR. And I gotta say, a lot of people are complaining that it doesn't look that pretty, that it doesn't look that great. But I spent nearly, I would say, 38 to 40 hours in Skyrim VR on the OG update, and yeah, there was jagged lines, there was problems with the pixel count, like everything felt like it was, felt like it had electricity coming around it, like it was just going, like every object in Skyrim, when it came out on PSVR, felt like it was going Super Saiyan. The leaves were going Super Saiyan. The ground was going Super Saiyan. The characters were going Super Saiyan, except they had blurry Slender Man faces. You couldn't make out their faces. But the new update for Skyrim VR, you can tell their faces. There's no more of those jaggedy lines. And I'll be honest with you. I'm playing on a PS4 Pro. And I'll be honest with you. When I made that leap from the PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 4 Pro, there was a huge leap in that, because at the time I was playing VR Sports Bar, which I definitely recommend. That it's one of my favorite games. And there wasn't a whole lot of detail. You do see jagged lines around it, like anti-aliasing or something, and maybe that's what they call it. I don't know the specs of stuff, but you can see jagged, like, little highlight lines around stuff on the regular PS4. But when you get to PS4 Pro, all of those little jaggedy lines that are around objects are no longer there. So there is, I bought a PS4 Pro before I had a 4K TV just because I knew that it would make my VR experience better. And I'll be honest with you, it definitely does make a huge difference between night and day when it comes to PS4 Pro. Now, when you watch these comparison videos on YouTube, you're going to see some weird stuff. People like, oh yeah, this looks so much better, and you can tell the difference. But to be honest with you, all of the footage that I have captured on the PS4 Pro or on the PS4 with VR, you can't tell the difference, because you're not getting that 2D and 3D experience that you are in the headset. So just using a capture card to capture what a game looks like is not gonna really show you that experience of being inside the headset. So once you're inside of the PSVR, I don't, not to talk about specs or something, but just putting it on and feeling it, there is less of a screen door effect in the PSVR. Like, I've looked for it. Like, I've actually tried to do like one of those funny looking back behind me things. Let's check the comments here. What are your PC specs? Well, currently I'm running a GTX 1080 Ti, an i7 8. Let's see. I don't know. Let me check my device. Let me see. System information. Let me check my specs here, and I'll give you a full rundown of my specs here. So I'm playing on the PC with the GTX 1080 Ti. I've got a i7 870K CPU. I don't have much RAM. I think I only got like 16 gigs of RAM. Yeah, about 16 gigs of RAM, and I'm running. I've got I think a terabyte solid state drive. But my specs on my PC are great. Like I have no problems at all playing VR, but I'm talking about that experience on the inside of these headsets. Both are two completely different experiences. I know when you get an Oculus, you get these headphones, but I'm going to be honest with you, these headphones are the most annoying. These are the most annoying headphones ever. I mean, when you have this on, you're always adjusting left and right and pulling it out, but they never completely really feel like they cuff your headset or your ears. They never feel like they really get down to it. So for these, I bought a set of I don't know, PSVR headsets. But I mean, you can get the same type of headphones like these for about $20 online. But you're better off using a big, huge headphone for that. Let's see. If you want to add me on your PlayStation Network, you can just add Secret Zoo Level. That's my name on actual PSN. So if you ever see me on there, I've been trying to play a little Rec Room. So hopefully we can all get together, and whoever has VR, we can jump on some Rec Room together or something. Let's see. Matthew says, I was surprised yesterday when I saw that they've changed the controls. They were better before. I leveled till 59 with the old controls, and now you need to press the X button to go backwards. Now, see, with Skyrim, that was a problem with me, is in order to go backwards, that's actually leading me to my next statement. So in order to go backwards in Skyrim, the OG, when you had to kind of throw your controller backwards and hope that you moved. But be honest with you, I didn't use the move controllers a lot when I played Skyrim. I just couldn't. I just couldn't take it. It drove me nuts. So this is another important. Let me put the headsets down. I think I'm done. If anybody has any questions about these headsets while I talk about the controls, please let me know. But I definitely want to give you guys my feedback on these two, because I actually feel like this looks better when I'm in VR than this does, even though I do have a PC capable of running the Oculus really well. But the next thing I want to jump into real quick is the controls. So I've got the Oculus controls, and I got to tell you, I love these. Like these are the best controllers ever. Like, honestly, to this point, like even if I'm playing. To me, the best controller that was ever made was the GameCube controller. Like, that was my favorite controller of all time. This feels to me like too many GameCube controllers, like, put in your hand. Like, you've got, let me see if you can see this. You've got a button here for this button, and then you've got a button here. And there's something really cool when you're in VR. If you even hover over top of this, you can see your thumb moving on animations and stuff in game. So, like, just hovering your thumb over this, and your character will hover it over. Everything feels pressure sensitive, and I love the fact that you've got these. You've got two thumbsticks, and they both operate just like you would think that they would in a controller. And these controllers are by far the best controllers. I mean, I've not tried the Vive, and I had the option to either get an Oculus or a Vive, and I chose to get the Oculus just simply because of these controllers. This is everything that PlayStation needs to have. Now, when it comes to the PlayStation controllers, let's take a look at these real quick. Yeah, this is all you got is the classic Move controllers. Now, they did change the port for it. But they didn't throw. I mean, how hard would it have been to throw a thumbstick on it? I mean, I've got the PS Aim controller, which I'll talk about some other time. But when it comes to the PS Aim controller, it has the thumbsticks, and that's all you really wanted. If it was that easy to put thumbsticks into a Move controller, why haven't they done it yet? I mean, it seems very, very strange that there is no freaking analog stick on this. But going back to this, these are really great. The only problem, there is one really definitive problem that I have with this, and that is the fact that you have to have a battery. So what I've opted to do is basically to get these Energizer rechargeable batteries. I definitely recommend those. It'll set you back like $25, but if you get these, you get 4 AA batteries and then the charging base, and you could swap them out. But you definitely have to have these if you want them. Like, I don't understand why they didn't opt to have you're paying all this money for an Oculus. They should have had like a cool little base that you just set your controllers on and they charge themselves. Or even gyro technology. Like, the more you use or the more you play like boxing or something, the more your controller charges. I think that even would have been cool. Have I tried the aim controller for Farpoint? Yeah, I actually, Farpoint was the first VR game that I seriously got excited for. When I played Farpoint, I thought the graphics were okay. And I didn't have a Pro at the time, so I upgraded to the Pro, and I done burnt Farpoint up. But playing it was great. Let's see. Arizona Sunshine 2 is good with the aim controller. Yes, Arizona Sunshine is another one that I played. I was really disappointed in Arizona Sunshine's graphics. Like, I don't know if they've improved or there's been patched, but when the game first came out, like, that's when I got it. I got the game when it first came out, and I played it a whole lot. I loved it. I didn't beat the game because there was something about the graphics that was just, it was eating me away. They just didn't seem solid enough. Now Now, I didn't have a Pro at that time either, so now that I have a Pro, it's like everything looks better. The thing that annoys me the most is looking like every fucking object is going Super Saiyan. Like all that white shit around them, it will eat you alive when it comes to VR games, but that is one of the main reasons to get a Pro. Arizona Sunshine on Steam looks fine to me. Now, see, I have not tried Arizona Sunshine on Oculus yet. So, if you guys prefer to maybe sit down and play Arizona Sunshine live one day, maybe we should do that and play it on the PC. I noticed there's a huge difference with the PC versus PSVR. But the thing about the Oculus is that screen door effect will drive me freaking crazy on if I stay too long in Oculus. But the PSVR, I could probably sit in there for 6 to 8 hours and not even notice anything is different. Take the headset off and feel like I'm in a different world. In Oculus, it seems like I'm inside of a three-dimensional world, but somebody's left the door open and locked the screen door. Like the screen door is really kind of hateful. But yeah, I hear that Arizona Sunshine graphics suck even on the Oculus. So I really like those VR games where you reload by throwing stuff behind your back. Now, I will say this. I haven't played Doom VR on Oculus, but I will say this. On PSVR, it looks shitty. It looks so terrible. I don't know how it is on Steam. I don't know if it looks better, but it's got to look better. But on PSVR, it's terrible. The control scheme, you have games like this that want you to teleport, and I'm not the type. Listen, here's the difference between people that like to teleport and people that like to do free movement. I'm a free movement person because I've already had my VR legs forever. I mean, you could strap me with cinder blocks and put me in VR, and I'd still be cool. But people that get very nauseous or they get vertigo really easily, they definitely need to spend more time in VR till they get their footing in. Because soon VR just feels like you're jumping in another world. Oh, Doom VFR is bad on Steam too. So yeah, I'm glad I didn't make the double purchase. I find myself making double purchases a whole lot. Like I bought Rick and Morty when it came out on PSVR. Canceled that pre-order once I got the Vive or the Oculus. Bought it on the Oculus store because I had a free like $50 gift card. And then I bought it again on Steam because here's another thing about Oculus. If you get an Oculus game and you try to play it with an add-on or using any kind of tools or any cool like little tricks and stuff on Steam, it doesn't read the SDK file right, so you're screwed. You basically have to make another cross buy, so you have to buy it on both Oculus and Steam. So I actually have Rick and Morty on Steam and Oculus, so it kind of pisses me off that I had to buy it twice, but I almost bought it 3 times because I almost bought on PSVR, but I would like to compare those two. Here's one of the biggest issues of why I'm actually reviewing the two, is the fact that I tried to live stream the other day, and it pissed me off so bad because I had the Oculus ready, everything was great, but I couldn't fucking touch the floor. I tried to go down here, and for some reason my cameras were off. So the biggest difference for me between the Oculus and the PSVR that pisses me off the most, and is really why I'm here, is because I've got a camera here, I've got a camera here, and I've got a camera way over here in the corner for the Oculus. And not to mention that these fucking cables that they send you with the Oculus are 6-foot cables. Some of them maybe 3 foot. I don't know. But if you buy an Oculus, you've already spent a fortune on it, and then you have to buy additional extension cables. Extensions to extend your USB 3.0 so that you can run it across the walls and across here. I opted for room scale, so I had to get like I think I have. For this one in the corner that I have back here, I have 1, 2, 3 extensions just to get this in the corner. So Oculus is definitely not providing the room scale experience, people. And basically, if you buy an Oculus for retail price, you can definitely expect to spend at least $80 to $90 more buying all these extension cables, buying an extra HDMI cable. The ports in the back of mine, I had to buy an adapter to actually hook it up. So don't expect to just buy a new PC and buy the Oculus, because you're going to buy a bunch of freaking cables just to make it work. And I've got and I actually have an extension on my Oculus too, on the USB and the HDMI. So I had to get 2 extensions for that one. So when you get a PSVR, you have one camera. Now the one camera, when you turn around and you put these behind your back, your controllers are lost. Like this is a simple, easy fix if Sony would just come up with a second camera to put up. So just, maybe a wireless camera or a wireless anything that they could do to track you from behind would be great. But when you're using the Move controllers and you turn around, you're screwed. But knowing that you turn around and you're going to lose control makes the experience of PSVR good, because Sony has a very freaking great way of repositioning yourself. Like with these, whenever I was basically screwed in my room on the Oculus, I had no way to reposition myself without opening up the Steam menu or opening up the Oculus menu. For some reason, whenever I would go to reset view, it wouldn't work. So I basically had to jump out of the game, go all the way back to the Oculus setup, reset up everything, and the Oculus setup is a fucking nightmare. It is a straight up fucking nightmare to set up an Oculus with 3 cameras, because it doesn't matter where you turn one of the cameras, it's not positioned with another camera. And that camera pisses you off because it's not in position with another camera. So if you set up your Oculus, I recommend don't even fucking set it up through the Oculus program. Go through Steam. Steam offers so much better experience as far as setting up your room scale, because it'll actually show your cameras and where they're positioned inside of your 3D environment, allowing you to actually just go over there and move them. But Steam is, I don't know, their VR feels so much better than what they're doing with the Oculus. But with the Oculus, every time I launch this son of a bitch, the Oculus Store pops up. That's getting on my nerves. I don't want to do, I want to turn that off to where if I launch my Oculus, it launches with Steam VR. But, I'm not trying to do any kind of tinkering. This is somebody that just installed this thing and knows nothing about it. And I don't want to spend 4 or 5 hours in a forum trying to figure out how the fuck can I set up my Oculus. So I'll be honest with you. When I got my Oculus, it was probably 2 to 3 days, maybe even 5 days before I ever got to play the Oculus. Because not only did I have to wait for all the cables to come in, I had to wait to try to set it up, and then when I tried to set it up, the Oculus didn't want to tell me, told me my position was stupid and it didn't work. But yeah, I got tired of going it. And with the PlayStation, their solution to if you get lost in VR is basically just to hold the start button right here. Just hold the start button. That's all you've got to do. You just put your thumb right there. If you're a pro, you already know. Just hold the button down. And you're repositioned. Where is that on the Oculus? Like, where? Why don't they give me the ability to hold one of these buttons down to reposition myself? Sure, it's room scale. It should all be set up. Yeah, it only took me 2.5, 3 fucking hours to set this shit up. But where's my button to reposition myself so that I don't screw up, or that I don't get lost, or what if the sticky stuff on my freaking, here's another thing. So I bought these really cool things for my Oculus so that you could put your cameras in it. But all it has is a little sticky tape. So what happens if the sticky tape starts to kind of droop like this and I'm in VR and I have no way to reposition myself inside of the environment? I'm basically fucked. I'm going to have to either exit out the game or hold the Steam menu, hit reset position, and by that time it's, if I'm streaming this live to you and I have to go through all that shit, that's totally ruining the immersion, the experience, the fun. We've ruined an entire stream. We've been playing 4 hours. We're about to beat the boss. A camera fucks up, and now we have to quit the game and all that. So it is a pain in the ass just to set these up. And there's no way to reposition yourself inside the VR environment with the touch of a button, like there is with PlayStation. And PlayStation, this is the smartest thing that I've seen in any VR. Why would you not have repositioning? Let's see. Steam VR advanced settings lets you reposition. Yeah, but still you have to exit out of the game to do that. Yeah, lucky with Vive, it worked right out of the box after I hooked it up with 2 base stations. See, now that's cool. You got 2 cameras. With the Oculus, I got 2 cameras, and then I had to get a 3rd one. I could probably go for a 4th one, but I'm not going through that trouble of ordering probably a 70-foot fucking USB 3.0. So this brings me to my point. PlayStation VR, it looks better. There's not as much screen door effect, but the controls suck. The Oculus controller is so much better than the PlayStation controller. So the Move controllers, they work very well. I mean, you can just go fucking crazy with them. I mean, they work until you turn around. When you turn around, you're fucked. I mean, you lose them. So I mean, since we're here, guys, let's give it a grading scale. So right here, PlayStation gets 1 point for being better resolution. Well, it might not be better resolution, but it looks better on the inside. Oculus gets 1 for better controls. I'll give PlayStation another one because PlayStation, again, has an easier setup. I mean, you plug it up, you play it. It's that fucking simple. Let's see. Software goes, I'm going to have to give it up to PlayStation again because being able to just launch your game and play it and not have to go through 14 different menus, have shit pop up like crazy. You don't have to exit the game. It's under play space and has a bar you can adjust on the spot. Cypher, you're going to have to send me that in a PM or get with me and explain that because this shit with Oculus is getting on my nerves. But there's so many different factors of why I enjoy PlayStation VR so much better than the Oculus. I really just don't get the... I mean, it's comfortable like this. Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't think that this would be comfortable. But it is pretty comfortable. It's just, I mean, sliding it up and down. If I'm streaming or something happens in my stream and I've got to push the headset up, it goes all over the place. But they're really kind of similar designs. When it comes to the lenses, though, I mean, this versus this... I mean, here's the lenses. I mean, they're almost similar, basically. But I don't know. It looks better. Oh, one really, really important thing about the Oculus that really pisses me off is although this has been sitting idle for a little while, it's fucking baking like an oven. Like, this is so hot to the touch right now that it feels like it's gonna melt my face sometimes. And it's hard to play the Oculus like that. Like you're playing in it. And if you feel this, it's on standby. There's no way to turn it off. It's always on unless you unplug it, and that's a bad thing for me. I don't like that every time I pick up my headset to play it, this thing's already burning up on the inside. It feels like somebody has microwaved it or something. Like, I'm feeling it right now, and have you noticed I haven't been playing it this whole stream, but it's fucking scalding hot right here. Like, it's... And just imagine, if it's hot right here, imagine how hot it is right here on your face and your forehead. Like, that is really, really hot right there. So if you do have an Oculus, you want to probably turn on your fucking air conditioner an hour before you play it because it should not get this hot. Like, the heat is way too much. But in this is when you play the PlayStation VR, it's almost like you've got a... It's almost like you've got a cooler on the inside because these pads are incredible for heat. Like, they don't they reflect the heat somehow. I don't know how they do it, but it doesn't. I mean, you will get sweaty in a VR headset regardless, but I have noticed that between the fog condensity on both of them fog up pretty much exactly the same, except for this you can slide it in and out and get some breathing room. But yeah, there's been times that I'll be playing the Oculus that I don't know whether or not I should contact Oculus and say, is this normal for it to get this hot? Is it supposed to burn my face like it's doing? But it gets really, really hot, and it shouldn't get that hot. But here's what I hate about these things, though. They work off light. So basically, if you play PlayStation VR, you probably want to board up your windows put a towel or something up, or a bed sheet, because if it's too bright, your controllers will do some fucking crazy things. And it's the same thing with these, except it doesn't matter about the light per se. But if your battery starts to go low, I noticed this the other day when I tried to stream Rick and Morty, it was going batshit crazy. It was just this one, and I found it was just because the battery was going dead. Not to mention that the USB ports was kind of messing up too, which is another really bad thing about the Oculus. If you're going to do room scale, you're going to need at least 4 USB 4.0 or 3.0 adapters. I think the way I got around it, let me see if I've got it here. Nope, I do not have it. The way I got around it is I just bought like a little cheap USB adapter thing, and it worked really well. So I definitely recommend, if you do, you can get an internal card, but I do not recommend the one that you'd find for like $20. Yeah, I did not, Cypher, I had no clue that a low battery would screw up my tracking as much as it did, but it definitely did. But yeah, I encourage you guys to kind of talk amongst yourselves about it, but there's some things between the two of them that makes them both really cool. But in my personal preference, I wish I would have bought a Vive instead. The only thing that saves the Oculus for me is this controller. This controller is amazing. And Robo Recall, like some of Oculus's exclusive games, are pretty awesome. I played Robo Recall. I played Ready Player One the other day, which is an exclusive. It was on the Vive first, but there's some really great games. But I mean, I guess if I want to crank up my AC to 60 degrees and then come play the Oculus, I can. But it may be different with a Vive. If I had a Vive, I would totally talk about it compared to the other ones. But if you guys have any more questions, you can send them over to me through Twitter or Facebook, or if you want to, send me an email at secretzoolevel@gmail.com, or I'll get back to you guys. But as of now, I'm gonna head out. Thanks for talking with me. Have a good one.